Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a Tuesday night Talking Nerds. And Zach is supposed to be joining tonight, so this will hopefully be the first stream this season where all of us are actually on. Zach was on with audio only last time, so yeah, we'll see.
It'll be short-lived. It'll be short-lived because I'll be out next week. But
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, so happy Tuesday. Hopefully everybody can make it in tonight, even though we're on a different day. But yeah, we have a couple reviews tonight. Tyler and I saw a movie over the weekend. Nick bailed, didn't even bother letting me know. And
hey, to be fair, we were actually Lauren was gonna be up for doing it, but
really,
then we forgot.
Oh, you forgot.
well, you know,
Oh,
I
okay.
almost
Something-
forgot
Tuesday.
everything. I almost forgot everything. I was lucky we're doing this on Tuesday. I probably would have forgotten most of it by Thursday.
I think I kind of already did. But I'll confess.
So, and I'm really trying to remember everything from Loki.
I got some crazy things I gotta say about both of those things that
Yeah.
I've read this week.
Okay.
But also, I have to watch Marvels a second time because I promised the wife that I would watch it.
Oh,
when it comes
no. I told Gracie, don't even bother. And she said, well, maybe I'll watch it on Disney Plus. I'm like, okay. But, you know,
That's what I said. But
warning
she
you
said,
now.
if you go to this movie without me, will you watch it with Disney Plus with me?
Oh,
And I
Disney Plus? Okay. I mean, you could be on your phone during that. You know, you don't have to really watch.
Yeah.
Just pull a woman and just be on your phone the entire time while you're watching something.
Maybe.
Classic.
I'll have to think about
When you're
it.
trying to show them something and they're like scrolling through Instagram, you're like, what are you doing right now? Should I pause? No, don't pause. They get up and just randomly walk away. You're like, where are you going? Yeah.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one and just stay silent.
Yeah. Well, they all know they do it, so it's fine. Yeah, so we got a couple fun reviews tonight and some news. I was hoping the House of Dragons season 2 trailer would drop, but it sounds like it won't be dropping until December, I think. So, but yeah, that's exciting. That's about the only exciting stuff coming out. Actually, Invincible is really good. I'll just get into my week here. Obviously, it's been a short week. It's only been a few days. So we watched Loki. I saw Marvels, and been catching up on Invincible. So the second episode came out on Thursday. I watched it on Friday, and it's
Attack on
actually
Titan.
we talked about that last week. Oh,
really?
did you watch it? Did you watch it over
No,
the weekend?
I didn't.
Oh.
I thought that happened after the podcast.
No, I watched that earlier last week. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I still haven't gotten spoiled yet, but I do need to watch it.
Yes, you do. Because we need to have our anime stream. But yeah, so Invincible is great. Actually, the first episode was pretty mediocre, but it got better in the second one, and I'm actually super excited where they're going with it. So there's one character from season 1. I guess Nick, you haven't watched it, right?
Well, that's foreshadowing.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
So
There you go. All
Yeah.
right, so I guess I won't try to spoil this, but there is one character who's kind of like a SJW in the first season, and they rewrite his character a little bit in this one, where he's more of like a tree hugger type character rather than like a social justice. So I like that. That was really nice to see. The characters are great. Like his girlfriend in the show is kind of obnoxious in the first season. She's also kind of an SJW. She's a lot more likable in this season. She's a lot more positive. So yeah, I'm liking what they're doing with all the characters and kind of what they're setting up. So yeah, it's cool. And then I've been watching Death Note. Um, so that's been pretty good. It's got a darker theme to it, but what I really like about it is it's kind of a mystery, even though it's not really. You know what's going on as the viewer, but it's cool to see like basically there's the main character is killing everybody, killing a bunch of criminals via this like book that you can just write somebody's name down, and when they die, how they die, and they'll just die. And then there's a detective who's like the world's greatest detective who's trying to figure out who's doing all these murders, and they like interact with each other. It's super cool. It's really good. It's a lot longer than I thought it'd be. It's 37 episodes, which kind of a lot for the. I mean, like I don't know what else they're gonna put in this. It seems like it could be a pretty quick show, but yeah. So that's pretty great. And then just going through some comics. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really played any games over the weekend. Been pretty busy. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, and I watched D&D again, Honor Among Thieves. Great movie.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I love that moment. He's like, well, that's kind of hurtful. It's the brain walks by. Yeah. Great movie. Great Chris Pine movie. So.
Yeah. And great, what's her name's movie too? Rodriguez.
From Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget her name.
Yeah. Whatever.
Everybody's good in that movie. So. Yeah. Tyler Bluey, what have you been up to?
Well, I saw a movie on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. We had some great sushi beforehand, though.
That was a highlight. We did have
Bomb
some
sushi. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go back to that place for like another movie night.
Yeah. Yep.
Nick
Nick will eat the sushi. It's good, Nick.
Maybe.
It's a little
sushi.
It's a little lighter on the fish too. So I think you'll actually like it.
Do they have tempura? I'll do that.
Yeah. They have all sorts of stuff too. They have burgers, they have cooked fish, they got stir fry.
Yeah,
What's
it's
it
not
like?
just the sushi place.
Yeah.
Walk and Fire.
Wok and fire.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. They used to have a location in St. Charles, I think, but they switched it out with a different
No, it's
Asian
in St.
cuisine.
Charles.
Yeah.
Or
Geneva.
yeah. No, it was St. Charles, but it was downtown St. Charles. I think they must have switched the location or had two
Yeah.
locations.
It's on 64, but it's over by Kirk Road. So
Right.
Yeah.
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 yeah, it's good.
So yeah, had some bomb sushi.
Really good sushi.
Going into a disappointing movie.
Yeah.
Made it. Yeah. And then I really haven't played many games this week. I got a solo win in Fortnite OG. That felt good. Builds. But that was like earlier this week. I think that was actually Saturday morning, believe it
Yeah,
or not.
It
But
was.
it's been a short week, Thursday to Tuesday. That's why it's been a short week.
Yeah.
Usually this is my gaming night. And then I need to start Invincible. I need to finish AOT. I got a long
Have you
to-do list.
watched the first season of Invincible or just?
Yeah.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then not really nerd related, but I'm watching The Office again with my wife.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Still
it's
pop
kind of-
culture.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, pretty boring week, but only that's because it's been a short week, Like,
Yeah.
we haven't had a full week, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick.
Nice. Well, I finally started Invincible. Just
Okay.
watched it. First episode.
First episode. That pulls you in right away, though. You don't need to watch
Whew.
much.
I
That
know,
ending,
yeah. It just they just start right off. And the funny thing is, I've actually seen that last scene. I've seen it
Okay.
somewhere else before, so I knew what happened, but I did not realize it was the very first episode of the entire show.
Yeah. Yep.
So
You would
that
expect
was
that
a
to be like
shocker.
like episode 8 or 9 or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. Because I knew that he was a bad guy. I just don't know how yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you'll find out. It unravels pretty quickly, actually. So
yeah,
I can't
pretty
remember how
intense.
many episodes are in the first season.
I don't know. I didn't look, but
I'm gonna look that up.
it's good though so far.
Yeah, it's great.
Um,
I think The Boys is a little overrated. Well, down the road, the first season of The Boys I really enjoyed. Where is Amazon Prime? There it is.
Yeah.
First season's great. I think the second season's fine, and then it gets a little overrated. Third season, but Invincible, the Boys comics is also kind of just, it's not the best, but the Invincible comics is fantastic, and so far they've been really good at keeping to the source material on that. So I have pretty high hopes for this
Yep.
show. But hey, who knows what's gonna happen? You know, they always see successful things and then destroy them.
Yeah.
So let's see, Invincible.
So it looks like 17 episodes.
Really, was it? Wow.
17.
No,
Wait,
I
is that
see
right?
8 episodes.
No, 8. Why did it say 17?
Yeah, 8 episodes.
Oh. Yeah, and then 8 in season 2, and then 1 just came out for season 3.
No, season. Are you talking about Invincible right now?
Yeah.
Invincible has 2 episodes out for season 2. And then there's
Oh.
Adam Eve, which is kind of she's got her own sideshow, which has 1 episode. So
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know where you
I
got
was looking
17
at the wrong
from.
thing. I don't know. IMDb said
IMDb.
17.
Okay, yeah, I was on.
I ran with it. Admonish me, I guess.
Yeah, shame. No.
But
Yeah.
I did that. So I'm excited to start that. I did not watch Marvels, which I'm okay with. I watched Loki, which was disappointing.
Yep.
And tonight I'm drinking classic Russell's 10, not the whole
Nice.
bottle, but
Yep.
it is a really good one.
I'm drinking Lagunitas Maximus Colossal IPA. And it is a colossal. It's 20 ounces. So, you drinking milk over there?
Yeah, I got a nice glass of milk.
Hey, you know what?
Nice.
I love a nice glass of ice cold milk, but I can't talk afterwards because I get all phlegmy.
Oh, I love that. The nice whole milk coating all in there. Oh,
love
yeah.
that
Keeps you
phlegm.
fluid.
You love that phlegm?
Yeah, it
Gross.
keeps you fluid.
Gurgling sound.
Yeah.
Yo,
No.
did you ever watch those videos of people chugging like gallons of milk? Because like when you chug more than like half a gallon of milk, your body instantly just throws it up, like because it can't handle it. Do you remember watching those like growing up?
Not that. I remember watching the people doing the like chucking the milk gallons on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
No, there was like a whole.
Purposefully
I think it was
slipping,
when
and
we
they're
were
like,
in
whoa.
when we were in high school.
It's
There
like
was like a
Practical
whole thing. It
Jokers.
was the gallon milk chug challenge.
Ugh, that sounds
Yeah, no,
nasty.
I didn't participate in that. That's for sure.
I would have, but
Yeah.
I hear it's like scientifically impossible. So
It's
'cause
like
you just
on your
throw it up
way to
immediately.
Well, you're a
it's on your
tall
way to
boy, so.
Tide Pod challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Tide Pod. Tide
And
Pod.
then the licking the toilet seat one too.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that one was fun. Did you guys do that one? Oh, wait. I'm kidding.
Hold up.
kidding.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something ain't right.
I need to put that video clip here in Restream now. Now that I know I can do that, I'm just going to put a bunch of clips in there. The John Campy one where he's like, woke, woke. That's a good one. Yeah. Well, cool. Zach's probably gonna join in. Who knows when? So we'll get back to him. But we got some interesting developments here in the world of Hollywood. It's finally ended. The actor strike is over, and here's what the new SAG-AFTRA contract is all about. So the deal with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers secured big wins for actors, including higher wages, streaming bonuses, great, and protections on artificial intelligence. I don't know why the actors are all worried about artificial intelligence, because what does that even mean? I guess we'll have to read on, but
They're gonna
Well,
start deep faking all their voices.
but like
and
deep
their
fake
faces
is
and everything.
well, maybe, but I mean, some of that's good for using, for trying to do older actors, who have
yes,
passed on,
but the
but
problem is how are the actors protected from it if they don't want it to be used?
Yeah, and you just change little characteristics in the face, and you create a whole nother, person or whatever, and then you can just use that.
I guess so. After 118 days, the Hollywood actors strike has officially concluded, and now we have a better idea of what the members of SAG-AFTRA have won in their new contract agreement. The SAG-AFTRA National Board voted Friday to approve the new contract with an 86% approval vote. Up next, the contract will go to membership for ratification. Speaking at a press conference Friday at Union, revealed some details. Okay, so to account for inflation, they originally demanded an 11% general wage increase for the first year in the contract back in July. The Alliance, or I guess AFRA, right? Yeah. Motion picture television producers countered with a minimum offer of a 5% increase. So stupid. The new contract compromised with a 7% increase. Effective immediately, the future increases in 2024 and 2025. Total package includes more than $1 billion in new wages and benefit plan funding. Okay. They also
I
secured...
don't feel bad for these guys at all.
I don't either.
I just don't like AI, but I do not feel bad for them at all.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think there's a different. I didn't feel bad for the writers at all, because the type of people that are in this are the bad writers, because the good writers are independent, and so I didn't feel bad for them. And on the actors' side, maybe I can understand some of them, but most of them are just a bunch of pussies, and obviously the bad actors. Or I should say the majority of these guys are young actors,
Bad actors.
who have no experience and really shouldn't be celebrities. Like, I think the bar is a lot lower than it used to be,
Yeah.
So I don't think
It's all the Marvel movies and the new actors and actresses they're choosing for those movies.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these people really deserve this. So I don't know. On the use of consent and compensation guardrails on the use of AI. Under the new contract's rules, a studio must obtain an actor's informed consent before creating or using a digital replica of a performer, whether than an A-list or a background actor. Crabtree Ireland told reporters that AI was one of the most divisive issues in the negotiating room, particularly with regards to generative AI or the creation of an entirely synthetic performer. This was the piece that came together on the very last day, on day 119 of the strike. We feel that this is a robust... Okay. Blah, blah, blah. As for streaming residuals, the AMPTP has essentially rejected all of their proposals in initial negotiations. The new contract establishes a streaming participation bonus for the first time, compensating performers in addition to traditional residuals. Other wins include improved relocation benefits, regulations on self-taped auditions, that's interesting, and increased residuals for stunt performers. Yeah, that's fine. They praised the negotiating committee and SAG-AFTRA membership for their solidarity, especially when the AMPTP remained silent for several months. Yeah. From July to October, we never heard from them. We went to the press and said, "What are they doing? What are they waiting for? Are they trying to smoke us out?" I quit smoking a lot. Okay. I think they realized they were facing a new kind of leadership in me and Duncan. Okay. Yep. We deflected their intimidation tactics. They had to acknowledge that we were demanding respect. All right.
Respect.
Sit down, honey. Sit down. Strike officially ended Thursday morning, concluding a 118-day standoff and the longest actor strike in Hollywood history. Under the New Deal, actors are allowed to return to work, and members are expected to formally approve the contract by voting in the next few weeks. So, did we really miss their presence? Not
I
really.
was gonna say I don't think really missed anything.
I will say the only thing I missed is Dune 2. That was supposed to come out already back in October. So that's the only really one I've been affected by. But yeah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Especially, Rachel Zegler complaining about having to sit in a dress for 11 hours, and it's like, are you seriously complaining about these things? It's so stupid. It's such a bunch of whiny idiots. Yeah. So, it's over, folks. Like, anybody really cared, but, So now to bash on Hollywood. How modern Hollywood writers abandon their moral duty. And Mark Hamill drinking some titty milk. Or goat milk, or whatever it is. Green titty milk. I love that clip. Mahler uses this all the time in his videos. It's great. The 1980s hold a special place in the collective memory of many, even those who didn't experience the decade firsthand. Its unique aesthetic, music, and storytelling have an enduring allure. In particular, the optimism and can-do spirit of 80s cinema continue to resonate with actual modern audiences. I love that. Actual modern audiences, because they always say, this is made for modern audiences. Like, what does that even mean? Yeah. Actual modern audiences. Watching RoboCop rediscover his humanity, quite literally walking on water like a cybernetic messianic figure, is a refreshing experience. I've never seen RoboCop.
What?
The upbeat nature of 80s narrative seems to be a product of a better time. But what if I told you that these times, as hopeful as they may seem, weren't significantly better after all? By today's standards, the U.S. dollar has lost over 90% of its value. But back in the 1980s, it had already lost over 80% of its value. Crime was rampant, and New York's transformation under Giuliani's leadership to a safer place was a response to the crime waves of the 70s and 80s. On the global stage, there were constant specter of nuclear Armageddon as the United States engaged in multiple proxy wars against an evil empire responsible for the death and suffering of over 100 million people. This is a little backstory here. In Europe, the Berlin Wall divided the continent. East Germans lived under oppressive surveillance, occasional torture, and mass rape of children. West Germans faced bomb attacks and kidnappings by leftist extremist groups like the Red Army faction. And a few years after the 80s, less than 300 miles away from what is considered the most livable city in the world, were mass graves and rape camps. It's clear that the good old days only appeared idyllic when viewed through selective rose-tinted glasses. In reality, it was the same harsh world that we live in today. Nevertheless, amidst those tumultuous times, writers delivered stories filled with hope and inspiration, which in some instances contributed to the fall of communism, as depicted in documentaries like Chuck Norris versus Communism. So, what has changed? One factor is that writers were more focused on delivering what is called the elixir, less concerned with deconstructing their own narratives, one infinity stone paperweight at a time, and less concerned with narcissistic self-expression. I won't delve into the intricate details of what the elixir entails in this article, as it requires more space than we have here. You can watch the following video. Okay. Denying or undoing the elixir can have disastrous consequences, as Disney is finding out first, gradually, then suddenly. I mean, they went from 2019 being the biggest empire in film history to, scraps today, begging for people to watch their content.
Yeah, people getting rid of their subscriptions and
losing, what was that, 6 or almost 10 million subscribers last year.
Yeah,
Insane.
ton.
However, for brevity's sake, I'll provide a conscious explanation. The elixir is closely tied to the hero's flaw, and its delivery has given rise to some of the most unforgettable moments in film history. In terms of structure, the second act of a story is akin to a hero's journey into the underworld, where they retrieve the elixir that will heal their world. This healing represents change, particularly the hero's transformation through overcoming their flaw. Now it's the heroes. Heroes. This theme of change is a recurring motif in Western storytelling and is witnessed in countless examples, such as the triumphant moment in The Avengers when they unite in a spectacular 360-degree tracking shot. It symbolizes the resolution of their flaws, literally coming full circle. That, in essence, is the manifestation of the elixir. So the delivery of this elixir is what has made Hollywood one of the largest global distribution networks, and it's the reason why many risk their lives to smuggle and consume Hollywood movies behind the Iron Curtain. However, when a writer's personal sensitivities, ideology, or narcissism take precedence over this delivery, the result is often nonsensical. Take, for instance, the feminist tripe that is Captain Marvel, which inverts the traditional concept of overcoming a flaw, which is true, because she has no flaws.
Can you play the clapping?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I still having problems with that, but yeah, I would. Because she doesn't have any flaws at all. She has nothing to overcome. The heroine doesn't triumph over a flaw, but instead realizing that her flaws are mere social constructs. As Marvel has discovered, this inversion fails to resonate with audiences, both financially and thematically. In the real world, nobody begins fully developed and competent. Both men and women must strive to succeed in the game of life. The audience pays the heaviest toll. A narrative devoid of its elixir leaves viewers at best apathetic, and at worst, embittered, resentful, and cynical. In such instances, the responsibility squarely rests on the shoulders of the writer. In the grand tapestry of storytelling, the delivery of the elixir plays an integral role, and its undoing might as well become Hollywood's undoing. That's a great explanation.
Yeah.
It's true. It's just narcissism. It's pure hubris. They think they know best. That what they have to say is what we should hear. So, yeah, kind of speaking of that, Brie Larson's The Marvels bombs at the box office with worst opening weekend in MCU history. This is where we should be clapping. Yay! This is so great. Brie Larson led The Marvels bombed in its opening weekend at the box office, posting the worst opening weekend in Marvel Cinematic Universe history without even having to factor in inflation.
And yet the Washington Post is like, wow, such a great movie.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Did you see? I mean, did you see the Rotten Tomato scores? It was originally like 50%, so it was rotten, and then they bumped it up just to 60% to be fresh, considered fresh. But if you look at like actual, what is it? I forget-
audience score.
No, not audience score, but like
Isn't it Metacritic?
yeah, Metacritic, something like that. It's like 30% or something crazy.
Surprised it's that high.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, like this, this movie, The Flash, had super high Rotten Tomato scores, and I think like Mario was super low. I mean, it's so blatant. It's not even being hidden very well. Yeah. So
Discriminating against Italians.
yeah, what the frick?
So it says as of today, 109 million at the box office,
Okay,
and then 62% Rotten Tomatoes,
62%. Yeah, I think it was 61 the last time I checked. So
53% of Google users like this movie.
According to the numbers, the film has grossed 47 million in its domestic opening weekend. Film grossed 6.6 million on Thursday, 21.5 on Friday, 15.3 on Saturday, and 10.2 on Sunday. And then I guess we can contribute then Monday in there. The Marvels brought in 63.3 million internationally for a global total of 110.3 million. Yeah. Captain Marvel 1 made $1 billion. And probably only because it was squeezed in between two of the biggest Marvel movies of all time. So,
and it looks like the budget was almost 275 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top markets are China, UK, Indonesia, South Korea, and France. Not even us.
Interesting.
As noted above, the 47 million domestic opening weekend is the worst in MCU history without even factoring in inflation. Previous holder of that title was The Incredible Hulk, which grossed 55.4 million back in 2008.
I'm gonna go watch that now.
Yeah, right. And everybody complains about like Thor 2 being a terrible. That movie is a masterpiece. That is Shakespeare compared to what we have. 2015's Ant-Man had the worst box office gross. If you factor in inflation, the film grossed 57.2 back in 2015. Factoring inflation, that comes out to 74.3 million in 2023 dollars.
Sheesh. That's just a sad fact in and of itself that inflation's that much.
Yeah. The film did meet box office projections from what the frick is this? That just distracted me. The film did meet box office projections from Box Office Pro, who predicted the film would gross between 35 and 49. However, these projections were significantly reduced in the month leading up to the film's release. That's what they'll say too. They'll be like, "Oh, but it met projections," so or it exceeded projections actually.
This is what we expected.
Yeah. So that means it was a success.
And then they're gonna say we're all misogynistic.
Yeah, we're all bots actually.
Yep.
We're the bot army. HBO's bot army.
That's us.
The outlet originally projected the film would gross between 50 and 75 million in its opening weekend and go on to earn 121 million and 189 in its entire domestic run. Still pretty awful. Why did they make this movie?
Well, that's exactly what we asked right after we got out.
Yeah, what was the point of this movie? And we'll talk about it more, but there was definitely there was a void that was very much felt of a movie missing in between there. And that was second Captain Marvel movie. It was clearly missing. And it's ironic because the best part of the movie was the part that we didn't actually get to see, which was Captain Marvel destroying the Kree world. So, yeah, I don't know why they made this movie. And
Was it a Moon Knight moment where the best fighting was just the audience was blacked out and we just couldn't?
no,
I
there wasn't
wish.
any good fighting. This was the villain. Oh man,
She looks like a suburban mom.
I know she's a soccer mom.
You see her little right hand in the back there.
Yeah. Yep, he's got a man bun.
Yep.
All the men were little simps. It was bad.
Especially Nick Fury.
Especially Nick Fury. Yeah, we'll talk about him. But by the way, this is Tom Hiddleston's fiance in real life.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
She had a grill, and classic race. Every diversify the entire character. This is a white male character from the comics. Nope, got to completely change that. They didn't really dive deep into her connection to Captain Marvel, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's so comical. Yep, we'll talk about it. I was gonna say something, but I kind of forgot because of how stupid it looks. Why does this freaking keep popping up? Go away. That's that like gay army ad, isn't it? Where it's like, I have 2 moms and I turned out okay.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Yeah. Oh, Nerdrotic calls her Woman the Accuser, which I love. Woman the Accuser, because Ronan, get it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
As for, Zach is on. I can't really hear.
Testing.
Oh,
I
there
have
he
my
is.
head. Now can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't see you though.
Yeah, I'm on my phone and I have to work off my work phone too, so I'm not gonna have my camera on. And I have to eat. I haven't eaten, so it's
Hey.
just a mess over here.
I got fudge stripes and Doritos over here, so
Nice.
That's
No, and
busted.
I can't
Grab me some
unfortunately
peppermint bark.
stay on for long because I have to drive all the way back down to Port Lavaca tomorrow morning.
classic.
Yep,
All right.
classic.
Well-
Good though, for good reasons. We're
Is it
getting out
done?
of there.
Yay! Finally.
Yes, we're getting out of there.
That's good.
So, yep.
Cool. So you'll be on more.
Well, like I said,
Just kidding.
my constraints are every day of the week, no matter what. When you have a child, so.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we're talking about Captain Marvel.
Oh yes, yeah. The worst opening in MCU
opening
history.
weekend in MCU history. So,
But of course, it's all about the sexist men. That's why.
right. Did you see the villain,
Mm-hmm.
the big bad? Yep.
Wait,
Well-
is he behind that lady holding the stick?
Nope. It's the lady holding the stick.
Oh, it's not the stick?
We'll get to that.
We don't
Don't
understand
get
the
me started
stick.
with
There's
that.
some problems with the stick too. There's problems with
Yeah,
absolutely
there's actually
every
problems with-
part of this movie is flawed. All right. Okay. So as for who is going to see the Marvels, Box Office Pro reports that the audience was 61% male. We were in that 61%. They also know that 67% of moviegoers were over the age of 25. We are over the age of 25. And finally,
Wait, sidebar though. That's what's funniest to me is they make these movies, and they're pushing the MCU in a direction where they're trying to cater to women, and 61%
yeah,
of the moviegoers for a
right.
all female movie, for the most
Right.
part, 3 main characters and the villain, all women.
Yep. Women-
61% is still male.
Women don't want to go see this movie. That should tell you something.
Right.
And they're like,
Yeah.
the Marvels? What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, last night I was watching. I know I didn't. I'm not going to do like a full week rundown, and honestly, I didn't do a lot of nerdy stuff this week, anyways. But like last night, I watched the Ride of the Rohirrim, the scene at the Black Gate, Stand Men of the West. I watched.
You only watched
Um,
scenes. You didn't commit.
well, yeah, because I was like, dude, I had limited time. Okay, so I'm watching my favorite scene. You know, the ride at Minas Tirith, and then of course watching Portals right from Endgame, and it's like when Thor's entrance in Wakanda, and it's like that's I don't know. It gave me a yearning for the good old days of the MCU.
Yep. Yep.
So then I also watched some scenes from Game of Thrones too. I was like, man, Jon Snow is also a badass.
Yeah. I love that meme
So
where it's Lady Onella. She's like, you can smell the shit from a mile away. When you rewatch Game of Thrones.
yeah, yep. Unfortunate. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're good. They also know. Okay, finally know 45% of ticket sales were in premium formats. In comparison, Captain Marvel's box office saw 55% were male, 63 being older than 25, and blah blah. Okay. As for audience reaction, the movie received an abysmal B from CinemaScore. For comparison, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, which was my least favorite MCU movies prior to this one, also received a B, as did Eternals, which was also one of my least favorite. It's kind of hard to really say it at this point. It was so easy back in the day, say Captain Marvel. That's the worst Marvel movie. Now it's hard. They're all fighting for the bottom position right now.
I kind of want to rewatch Captain Marvel just because I want to be a little refreshed about something that was
Captain
from the
Marvel is
past
actually
era.
not too bad compared to this.
No.
At least Jude Law's in it. I mean,
At least it's a coherent plot. It actually makes sense. Compared to this,
I don't
Okay.
know.
comparatively.
I don't
compared
know.
to this,
For me, Brie Larson
We're-
just tips the scale so badly
she does. She
in
does.
this movie.
All I'm
Like,
saying
at least
is
she was palatable.
the
in
movie
Marvel.
made more sense to me than this.
Sure, but at least Brie
Um,
Larson was more palatable.
We don't have a lot to work with here, so
Yeah.
we're just trying to find a silver lining in this.
Don't
both,
find it in Captain Marvel, please.
Yeah. Both Love and Thunder and Doctor Strange Mom received B+. Guardians Volume 3 had an A CinemaScore. Yeah. I'll still say though, like this movie's probably the worst Marvel movie, but Doctor Strange Mom was probably the most damaging out of all of them. This movie was inconsequential. It doesn't matter. This movie couldn't, nothing changed between before and after this movie releasing. Apparently, because everything that happened in Secret Invasion didn't really matter. So, yeah, this movie is inconsequential. Doctor Strange Mom really screwed up everything.
Does CinemaScore not give anything above a B?
A for Guardians
I'm sorry.
3.
I mean, under a B.
I don't know.
So I feel like Love and Thunder is definitely a D. I definitely think that this movie was a D.
All of these are Fs.
Mom was a D. Quantumania, I don't know, but I hear it sounds like it was an F.
Oh gosh,
Eternals, I would have
Quantumania
given that
is
a
awful.
C plus.
Yeah, honestly,
it's
even
really
Eternals, I would love to watch versus a lot of these.
Eternals was just
I'd-
boring, just really
Eternals
boring.
was visually a fun movie.
Yeah,
I
but-
liked the visuals of Eternals.
Yeah, but it was.
I'd put up Eternals. Over
It had
any
a
one
lot
of
of
those
flaws,
movies.
though.
Actually,
had a lot of
It
flaws.
did. It had a lot of flaws, but again, visually, it was interesting. Kit Harington, fun, right? So
I'd put Guardians 3 up on over all of them though.
Yeah. I mean, so like
oh yeah, Guardians 3 is the best thing this phase out of Marvel for sure.
this movie, this and Marvel's just didn't make sense at all. Just terrible story writing. Like nothing was, coherent. Love and Thunder, really butchered Thor as a character, but I think they already did that in Endgame. It just kind of furthered it, further what they did with Fat Thor, which they could have changed immediately. They could have had redemption immediately in Endgame. That's probably the worst part of Endgame. And then
It
they
was
just
funny for a little bit, but it
yeah,
was just like, okay,
but
cool, we're done with that.
I mean, like
Nope.
the whole like cheese whiz through your veins, like all of that was stupid.
I don't know. I kind of thought that was funny, but like,
But
Anya left Lebowski,
we had really cool Thor in Infinity War. They could have kept going. The original concept for him was he was going to hunt down everybody who knew anything about Thanos in Endgame, and just go full Ronin.
The disappointing part was that he turned into a crybaby. Like, that's
Yeah, but that's kind of where it's like this is serious, and he's still portrayed as an idiot. So, yeah, and then Love and Thunder really screwed that up, and made King Valkyrie, who she showed up in Marvels, and they made it a moment where it's like they expected the audience to clap. They had a clapping moment. No one clapped.
But not because it was a bad moment, but because there was nobody else in the theater with us.
I mean, it was still a dumb moment. It was definitely. It felt like they were trying to make Marvel and her a thing, but anyways, yeah. And Doctor Strange was just the most insulting movie. It screwed up everything. It screwed up characters we already loved, and it gave us probably the worst moment in the MCU history, which is giving us John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic, and then killing him in a wimpy way immediately, and killing Professor X, Captain Carter. I guess all of those characters, instantly. Yeah, so that was a terrible movie. Guardians 3 wasn't too bad. I didn't hate it, except for Adam Warlock, obviously. But yeah, so box office analyst OMB Reviews reacted to the poor performance, declaring, "Goes to show you if you make a bunch of films within a short amount of time, and you don't actually give fans what they want because instead you're deciding to push various aspects of identity politics and other nonsense in it, guess what? People are going to stop going to your movies." OMB Reviews would also respond to arguments that the box office was so bad because the film lacked promotion from its main actors, such as Brie Larson, which obviously is the actors' strike. He stated, "Well, the fact that they had even just a few days to promote this movie and the film still came in at the bottom end of their estimates tells me that the promotion doesn't do anything." That promotion that going on late night shows, that does not really move the needle anymore. There's just no evidence to suggest that. The key is to kind of understanding this is actually going to be looking ahead towards a film like Hunger Games prequel coming out, because that film will have had at least a couple weeks worth, or at least a full week worth of promotional materials. Yeah, so we'll see how that does. Mahler, the YouTuber Mahler, made an interesting point too. Like I think there was a 2008 actors strike. That during the same time as Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine was coming out. And that had Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in it. And then Deadpool 3 is coming out, same guys, and the actors strike hits at the exact same time, which is kind of ironic. I'm very curious about that movie. Obviously, X-Men Origins sucked. That was a terrible movie. But, yeah, I don't know really what to expect from Deadpool 3. Hopefully they learn from all their mistakes here and decide to just do Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and reset everything.
Is it here that we talked about it? That's what the leaked or the potential concept is for that
Well,
movie is
the
him going around
concept
killing everybody?
he's killing the Fox universe.
Mm.
He's killing all the X-Men.
Why would he do that though? What reason does he have to do that?
Well, I mean, what reason did he have to kill the
In
whole?
universe.
I don't know.
Right. No,
I
I
don't really
get it.
know.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
I
He's
mean,
looking for
not
Francis.
not really the movie version.
He's bored.
Mm.
Um.
Maybe.
Oh, and that was another thing. The end credit scene of Marvels
Oh yeah, the
brought
Beast.
in Beast. Kelly Graham's, or was it Kelsey Grammer, who was the original Beast. And it was abysmal CGI. It was awful. Because it actually was super last minute thing. It was originally just going to be binary. By the way, Tyler, it's Photon. That's the Black Girl Power Magic. That chick.
Black girl power.
Yeah, that was a line Nick Fury had in this movie.
Come on,
Wow.
black girl power.
I think he said magic. Black Girl Magic.
It was Black Girl Magic. I saw
Yeah,
an article
Black
on it.
Girl
That's
Magic.
so incredibly stupid.
I know.
Either way.
But yeah, Monica Rambeau. So her character's name in the comics is Photon. But later she becomes Spectrum. So I think they're gonna go with Photon, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah. So anyways, her mom in an alternate universe is the character
Mhm.
Binary, and it was really just gonna be Binary, and it's like, yeah, nobody cares. So let's scramble and put together something. And oh gosh, yeah, we'll get to that. But that was just the dumbest reason ever for her to be pushed into that universe. It was so stupid. So many reasons why, but yeah.
Why?
Well, I guess
Why
we can
was
get
she-
into it actually. Let's
Yeah,
because we're
I
done with
don't-
this
I
article.
don't care. You
Um,
can spoil whatever there is.
no, so at the very end, the basically, I guess we kind of have to set up to that point though. So the movie, the core plot of this movie is, again, there was that missing movie that we never got where Captain Marvel essentially, in the first one, she told Jude Law's character to warn everybody that she's coming, right? I forget his name. But basically, at some point between that movie and this movie, she destroys the Kree planet, or the Kree planet's AI, their artificial intelligence, which is called the, I forget what it's called. Do you remember?
The planet?
No, the AI.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
no.
They killed the AI that's basically sustaining the planet. They lose all their air, their atmosphere, their water, so all the oceans are gone, and their sun dies. And these-
And she did this. Why?
Reasons.
Right.
She
Yeah.
was liberating
Exactly.
the
That's.
people from the AI.
Yeah.
But
Right.
she killed all the people.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, Zach.
No.
These people survived for 30 years
Oh
without
my
air,
gosh.
water, and a sun
Yeah.
because
Reasons.
science.
Earth, wind, and fire.
Trust-
Do you
Trust
remember
the science.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel?
So, Woman the Accuser's whole storyline is that she's trying to use these gauntlets from Miss Marvel's universe or world or story, which I never watched Miss
yeah,
Marvel, so the Bengals.
It's the other one.
The
I
Bengals.
think I read I watched Critical Drinker's video
yeah,
on it.
his
It's
review.
it's the other Bengal that Miss
Yes.
Marvel has. She has
Right.
one, and it's the pair.
Yep. So she's trying to get both of those. She can open up these these wormholes, or I guess those like hexagonal warp points where they can travel across the universe. They do it in Guardians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's opening up these things, and she's trying to take resources from worlds that are important to Captain Marvel. Which we'll get to the specific things because they're hilarious. But basically, what they in certain parts, she opens up this wormhole, and she's like drawing the water out, and it's just one little section of the ocean, And it's like, do you know how long it would take you to drain the entire ocean of this huge planet to get all that water into this other place? No, just
I
clearly
should
didn't
know.
think of
I
that.
just pumped down a
Yeah.
pond that held
Not-
240,000 cubic yards of material. It took us 2 weeks.
Not very good dredging engineering there. So they didn't
No,
have civil
no.
engineers on her team. So
No.
then the sun part, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. She was trying to drain our sun from our solar system through the thing, and it was like a solar flare. It's like, what are you gonna do with that? Are you just gonna? Is it just gonna just like go into the other and just like scorch their planet? Like it wouldn't form into a star on the other side. You were literally siphoning a star. So that doesn't make any sense.
That is so dumb.
So their logic was retarded.
Just wait till we get to Loki.
Oh gosh, yeah. Honestly, Loki didn't
I'll
seem
probably
so
leave.
bad compared to this.
Okay, so like I watched. Yeah, okay, I'll let you finish, and then I'll touch on the intro to Loki, and then I'll leave because I technically haven't finished it yet, and I actually don't hate it so far. It
Oh,
may
gosh.
get bad at the end.
It gets bad at the end.
I get that.
It gets bad at the end.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's really bad at
No,
the
that's fine.
end. Maybe
We'll
you
let
want to
you
watch.
decide for
Maybe you
yourself.
want to watch the whole thing and then come back next week and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Cause
we're gonna let
Yeah.
you decide for yourself. Don't
gets-
listen to these fools telling you that it gets bad at the end. Make your own choices.
it gets bad. At the
Right.
end.
It gets bad at the end.
So yeah, so that's kind of the bad guy's reasoning for everything. And she's using Ronin's
The bad gal.
the bad gal. She's using Ronin's staff, which was first of all powerless until it got the Power Stone in Guardians of the Galaxy. Then it was destroyed by Star-Lord and broken into a million pieces. Well, somehow,
Mm-hmm.
just as Palpatine returned, this staff returned.
So does this hammer.
This hammer
With- guess
returned.
what?
The hammer
with the power, with the
with
purple
magic
power
purple
from the-
power. Oh, how?
Wow. Just like
Wow.
Ronin's
Because
hammer.
reasons. It was never explained. Well, it was actually explained because Captain Marvel said that was what did she say? It
A
was
universal weapon.
It was a universal weapon, whatever that
It's a
means.
universal weapon.
Yes.
I'm so glad they said that. That makes so much sense.
I know
now.
that answered all your questions. They're like, I bet somebody's gonna wonder about this hammer. Let's throw this line in here. This will
Universal
fix everything. So
Black
basically,
girl magic.
exactly. Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Black Girl Magic are trying to, or somehow their powers are entwined. Where when they use their powers simultaneously, they switch places, but only sometimes. Only when it's convenient for the plot.
Also like Loki. But
Yes.
Did they switch powers too, or just
No.
they swapped?
They swap
positions?
places. They teleport
Okay.
because of the bangle on Miss Marvel's arm. Somehow.
Well,
Why? That makes
No,
zero sense.
There's
It only started happening when the bad chick got
started using the
other
bangle. Yeah.
and started using it. So now Miss Marvel switched places with Captain Marvel, which then Miss Marvel also switched with Monica Rambeau, which then Monica and Captain Marvel like they all can switch places with each other if like they use their power at the same time.
Which is stupid because what is the likelihood? Like, that's a small chance that they're actually going to use them at the same time unless they're together. Like, if one uses it and then the other one uses it, that's not the same time. Like, it has to be at the same time. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Monica Rambeau's power is that she can see light.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what they say.
That's literally what she
What's
says.
your power? She's like, I
You
see
can.
light.
She said you can manipulate light. I can see it.
What the heck?
Like, wait a minute.
No way.
Isn't that what eyes
That's
are
impressive.
for?
Yeah.
wow.
Also, by the way, speaking of powers, they were very inconsistent in this movie. Because earlier, I forget which movie it was, we learned that Captain Marvel can fly at the speed of light, but only sometimes. Because in this movie, at the very end, when Monica Rambeau gets stuck inside the other universe, and they're not very far apart from each other, Captain Marvel tries her very best to go grab her before it closes, and she doesn't reach her in time.
Wow.
Why?
Jeez Louise.
I don't know.
Reasons.
She can literally fly at the speed of light. So that was pathetic.
Oh.
And at the same exact time earlier in the movie, she goes from our planet to the Kree planet in about 3 seconds.
Mm.
Because Miss Marvel and Black Girl Magic get there, and literally like a couple seconds later, she's coming. And I love that part. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but Monica tells Miss Marvel, "Don't use your powers." What are you talking about? This is probably a great time to use your powers, if you have to use them at the same time, because you're gonna get out of there. You don't want to be there. You want to get out of there. No, you definitely want to use your powers right now. So
She's like, well, you can see light, so what?
Yes.
Are you like jealous of him?
Yeah.
I have actual real powers.
so they're switching all the time, and it was so stupid. And Miss Marvel can't fly, and Captain Marvel, knowing that they would switch places, kept on flying and putting herself way up in the sky, knowing that she's probably going to switch places with Miss Marvel. And Miss Marvel ends up actually falling out of the sky miles above the earth. It's like, the ground. It's like, you are so stupid. And they like switch places at one point. It's like, she's still going to splatter against the ground wherever. Her momentum is still going. Her momentum's not going to just go away. No, she does not fly.
Okay. What does
What
she even
is
do? I
her
don't even know what
powers?
she
It's
Yeah, what are
stupid.
her
In the
powers?
comics, she has stretchy powers. In this, she has
Right.
these like
Hard light.
hard
Sparkle
light.
powers?
She like crystallizes light. It's really weird.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's like
stupid.
it's like a light version of like her stretchiness. Like
It's
she
kind
can
of
like
it's
make
kind of like a
it-
ripoff of Green Lantern.
it's a
it's
cop
just-
out.
It's just
Yeah,
not
that's what
it.
it
She
sounds
doesn't
like.
have the same. She doesn't make the same type of detailed constructs as Green Lantern. Yeah. So, yeah. So those are the characters. Half of the movie, actually, I wouldn't even say half. I would say 90% of the movie is them cackling with each other and being girls. Having slumber parties and bonding, and Captain Marvel having shame for not being around with Monica Rambeau. It was mostly talky feely stuff, which we've been seeing everywhere else in the MCU. The villain was not intimidating at all. She looks like a soccer mom. When she runs, she looks like a mom trying to catch their kid before they go on the bus. The fighting is pathetic. King Valkyrie shows up and she's gay as ever, and I don't think her and Captain Marvel have ever met, but they acted like they knew each other intimately, if you know what I mean.
Well, I would
It made
imagine
you
they
think
met.
that.
They crossed paths in Endgame.
In the girl power moment for 5
I
seconds.
mean, yeah, but you can infer
Who
that
the
they
heck
probably
talks during a fight?
No, I'm saying you could infer, Nathan, that they all hung out afterwards for a while.
gosh,
I doubt
I
that they
love
just like
those
defeated
boots.
Thanos and then left.
I just really love those boots, Nick says.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove it up Thanos's.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying you could infer that they do have some sort of friendship, but continue.
More than friends with benefits.
All right, apparently.
So
With no benefit to us.
right. Please don't burn my eyes out. The moment where King Valkyrie shows up is that they have, which I'll get back to this in a second. What like the events leading up to this, but they have these Skrull refugees that they're trying to get to safety, and King Valkyrie takes them back to New Asgard. So you're telling me that Skrulls could have gone to New Asgard this entire time, and so the events of Secret Invasion weren't necessary at all, when they could have just gone to New Asgard? Nick Fury is a freaking idiot. He has lost everything about him. He is stupid, and they furthered it in this movie. We'll get to him later because it was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, the cat infestation.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
And freaking Miss Marvel's family, who didn't need to be there at all the entire time. They were
I will
supposed to
say
be.
the best character in that movie was her dad.
Yeah, but like, why were they there? They weren't in
Oh, sure.
danger. Nobody knew who they were. Like, they could have stayed on Earth. But yeah. Anyways, so the Skrulls, right? There is a planet that the Kree are trying to destroy to kill the Skrulls, and so the Marvels team up and they go over there to save the Skrulls. And excuse me, Miss Marvel actually is the best character in this movie, believe it or not. She wants to be a hero, and she wants to actually save everybody. Captain Marvel can fly at the speed of light, but she says, no, there's not enough time. When there's so much time, they could have saved everybody, and they don't. So they get off the planet with barely anybody, barely any of the refugees, a handful, and they literally
These are
show.
Skrull, by the way, these are Skrull.
These are Skrulls. They literally show you all the dying Skrulls on the planet just being crushed by huge boulders and everything. They like pan out and they show it for a good 10 seconds of Skrulls dying. I was like, you're just like, really shoving the point down. But I was like, this is so pathetic that Captain Marvel couldn't save these people. It's just constantly her powers just change throughout the entire movie. And she's a bitch. Like, actually, she's awful. She's a terrible person.
Well, Critical Drinker brought this up too, and I thought it was a good point. You basically made her into Superman, which means she should, in theory, be able to solo just
Right.
about anything. In the
If you
MCU.
if you tell me at the very beginning that she's flawless and she's OP, then there should be no reason why she should have any, regular.
I mean, she went
buff
toe to
or,
toe with
nerfs.
peak Thanos.
Right.
Yeah, she went toe to toe with peak Thanos. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
like,
no way she
okay,
should be nerfed at all in this.
Exactly, but then they realized, oh crap, we can't have that powerful of a solo character in the MCU.
Right.
Like, Captain America couldn't even solo Thanos for more than, what is that scene, 30 seconds long? 45 maybe? Like,
Yep.
come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
They could have her be OP for the entire time, and then just fill it in with all the touchy-feely stuff, and then call it a story.
So
that's always been my problem with Superman. I know that Nick loves Superman, but that's always been
I
my
love
problem,
Superman.
is with a character that strong,
Mm.
you have to like figure out ways to create weaknesses.
Oh,
Otherwise,
Zach,
that
you've never read the
character's-
comics.
I understand that he has kryptonite, but
No, what kryptonite's
Well,
just
also,
one
but-
thing, Zach.
the
Magic?
villains are
Do you know
a
he's
lot-
weak to
yes.
all magic?
I did know that. Yes, Shazam is like a counter to him. Yes, I get it.
Constantine.
Yeah, Zach.
Superman is OP.
Oof, those are fighting words. Superman. Okay. I'm just sidebar here for a second. I just want to say this quick. Superman is not. It's not about him being the most powerful superhero that makes him amazing. It's who he is as a person that makes him such an amazing character, because he is like the heart. He's hope. He is the heart of the DC universe, despite it being so dark and everything always going poorly. Superman is there always to save the day, and he is kind of the inspiration for every other character, every other superhero. He is the glue that brings everybody together. That's what makes
why
him a great character. It's not that he can do all these super things, it's that he is who he is. And
Mhm.
like,
That's why
obviously, like a
killing
bad
Lois Lane
Superman is a
was-
bad thing because he's got nothing holding him back. It's he knows he doesn't
What-
have limitations, but he's
What
still.
does Gray Kryptonite do?
I can't remember.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different types of kryptonite, but
Right.
yeah. So I just love Superman, the heart of Superman. That's what
Mhm.
makes him great. But anyways, yes. One of the worst parts of this movie though is there is a planet that everybody sings. Their language is musical.
Dude, I
Oh, the
forgot about
musical.
that. Why did you? Oh,
Because we need to
I
talk about
actually
this.
blocked that out of my head, dude. I'm not even
That kind
kidding
of really sealed the deal too about this. They put a musical in this movie,
Oh,
and it
gosh.
was so unnecessary too. It didn't add anything to the plot at all. Captain
you.
Marvel
Oh,
was
except for their suits.
right. Captain Marvel is married to the prince of this planet, who is bilingual. He speaks and sings, so he's bilingual.
Mm.
Wait, who's married to him?
Captain Marvel.
Oh,
Right?
Yep.
Random.
Like,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
And they say, oh, it's political reasons.
Right.
Oh,
So
yes,
this is the
yes.
planet that she was trying to steal their water, drop by
The
drop.
bad chick was
Yeah, Darben. That's her name.
Darben.
Darben. So Darb was trying to steal their water, and
dark.
yeah, they're basically, indestructible. The three of them, the Marvels, and Miss Marvel is worried that Darben is going to try to steal the other Bengal from her, so they teleport out of the planet. When they purposely went to this planet to get help to fight Darben, and then they abandoned them not 5 minutes into the fight.
Oh my gosh.
And Captain Marvel then goes on to apologize to Monica Rambeau about not being there for her when she was a kid and all that stuff. And it's like they get all the touchy feeling. I'm like, what about the people that you just abandoned to die and to lose their water? It's so stupid. There are a lot of those moments throughout the movie where Captain Marvel just abandons people. It is very disregarding towards other people, including her own friends too, the people she's fighting with. So and it's like at the very beginning when they were first switching powers, she knew that what was happening kind of, and she knew Miss Marvel was out fighting who she was just fighting, and she wasn't at all worried that a little girl who's never really done much in the superhero world is out fighting Kree right now. Like, she didn't really care, There's just a lot of that. So then in the end, they all team up to fight Darben. Darben gets crushed by something. She's acting like she's dying, and then they suddenly have a change of heart. Maybe we can save her. So they take the thing off, and then, nope, Darben is not. She was double-crossing them. And so Darben takes them all down. She grabs the other Bengal. She tosses it on. And what does she do? She explodes because it's too much power for Darben, which is hilarious.
Gosh.
Because can you imagine if she got both of the Bengals at the very beginning of the movie? We would have had 5 minutes of this movie, and it would have been over.
And that's it. That's it.
And that's it.
Gosh.
So, yeah.
That is that. So the heroes don't beat the villain. The villain
No.
beats herself.
The villain beats herself.
Yeah.
That is so
like-
stupid.
It's like the plot of Pirates of the Caribbean. Just give them the gold medallion and let's get out. Let's be done with
Yeah.
this.
Uh-huh.
You know what's funny, too? You speak of plot. I never, again, I tried to watch Spaceballs, and I couldn't. But Nerdrotic was saying this is literally the plot of Spaceballs. They use a giant vacuum to suck resources from a planet. That's how pathetic it is. They stole the plot of Spaceballs, and Spaceballs still did it better.
Well,
a joke.
speaking of Pirates of the
Spaceballs,
Caribbean
it's
too,
Space.
right? So speaking of Pirates of the Caribbean too, the reason, do y'all know why Captain Jack Sparrow had the debt to Davy Jones?
I
don't remember.
A while ago, I remember.
So
I don't remember now.
Davy Jones, Jack Sparrow had to make a
David
deal with him,
Jones.
and the deal basically was that Captain Jack needed to ferry slave souls to Davy Jones.
Oh,
That's
right.
what he did. He raised his ship, so he made the deal with Davy Jones to raise his ship.
Actually,
And he And it actually even goes further back because it was the East India Trading Company wanted Jack Sparrow to slave for them, be a slaver ship, and he said no. The ship got sunk. Davy Jones raised it and then tried to basically say, "Well, now you need to be a slaver ship," and Jack Sparrow was like, "No, I'm
You
not
know,
going to."
I know that only because actually of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
The Sea of Thieves campaign is about Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones. So
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I love Jack Sparrow. Great character.
Yes.
um
Great movies.
great
Unlike
movies.
the
I
one that we're
love
talking
those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Those
So
are good.
basically at the end we'll go back to Nick Fury too, but the you know the warps or the time, whatever you freaking call them, the wormholes essentially
Yeah.
aren't closing even after Darben explodes. And of course, Miss Marvel puts on both Bengals, and she's fine, somehow.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
She was
also-
born for this.
Also,
Yes.
hold up. Whenever Darben put the first one on, it like glowed purple, and she like had like visible power flowing through her.
Oh, yeah, she had an
Right.
orgasm for
And
sure.
then the second one, she like has like another like extreme like visible power, and then Miss Marvel puts them on. It goes click, click.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like it was like an
What?
accessory. Like
It was
no
an accessory.
power, no nothing.
What the
Darben.
heck?
Sounds
Yeah,
more
so-
like
They
Dead.
But-
ran out of
yeah.
CGI budget, Tyler.
Yeah.
I said they ran out of CGI budget.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, so she's trying. Basically, it's a wormhole to clearly another universe, and Photon has to go close it. And
Why?
in order to close it, for some reason,
Because
She
it's
has-
parallel universe.
it's a parallel
like,
universe,
ripped apart.
and it's like sucking the sun in still. Our
Right,
sun
But I'm saying, why does Photon specifically need
Because
to go
she's-
close it?
got these light
She
powers.
sees light.
Oh no! Remember Nathan?
They
teased her
supercharge her.
with-
Yeah, they supercharge her.
Yeah.
She goes Super Saiyan because Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel charge her. And so
Nice.
she goes Super Saiyan, and for some reason, to close it, she has to be on the other side. And
Of
what
course,
she's doing
of
is she's basically connecting all these things together and pulls them together. I don't know why she has to be on that side, but apparently she has to be on that side.
also sounds strangely like Loki.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
connections.
a little bit. And Captain Marvel's like, when are you coming back? She's like, I'm not coming back. I knew all along I wasn't coming back. And
Oh,
she's like,
gosh.
no. And then she flies out to get her. Again, I told you this earlier. She should have been there in like literally a second, but nope. They do the whole thing where she's like reaching and then shoo, closes and she's like, no. It was like the moment in Avengers where Tony takes the nuke out to space,
Mhm.
except not nearly as good.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close. And so in the end, she shows up in this alternate universe with her mother from her mother is binary, doesn't know who she is, and then it's the X-Men universe, and Hank is like, yeah, I'll go tell Professor X, So
Oh, so that's how they're gonna bring the X-Men in.
apparently, in the Marvels, the Marvel introduces the X-Men.
X-Men. Lovely.
Fantastic. So, let's talk about Nick Fury for a second. Nick Fury is on the Saber tower the entire movie, essentially, except for the beginning. He meets up with, Miss Marvel's family.
Miss
and
Marvel's family.
For
Yeah.
some reason decides they should be up on top of the Saber. This, secret government agency, whatever. No worries.
Yeah,
And
all because of their swapping. Like they pulled two enemies with their swap somehow. I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Nick Fury's very a clueless, weak character. He can't even fend off regular people anymore. He's just out of breath all the time, can barely shoot, needs help. It's really sad, honestly. It's really sad.
Well, is there a reason for that? Is that like carryover from Secret Invasion or what?
I didn't finish Secret Invasion, but
I didn't
apparently,
watch
there's no crossover from Secret Invasion at all into this.
So why is he now weak? He was a badass.
I don't know.
Wait, does he have an eye
He's a
patch
dude.
or what's?
Yes, he's got an eye patch.
Okay, then it must because in Secret Invasion he didn't have an eye patch. I don't think
He took
had
it off, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a artificial eye in Secret Invasion. I watched like 2 episodes, I think.
anyways, so the goose, the flurkin, is on the saber,
Mhm.
and
Goose.
the entire Nick Fury plot is him finding all these eggs that he can't explain what these eggs are with 2 other idiots on the saber satellite. Who, by the way, one of them is this 300-year-old black guy who's too big to fit into his uniform. That was a plot point.
What?
These uniforms are awful, by the way, too. They were terrible. And so Nick Fury's trying to figure out what all these freaking eggs are, not really worried about what's going on elsewhere. Turns out they're flurkin eggs, and they hatch a bunch of little kittens.
Flurkin
That
eggs.
is a
Flurkin.
plot point.
Ew.
And
Watch
A big plot point.
a big plot point because when Darben's trying to siphon our son, basically,
Hold on. You know how she like, you know how she's sucking water out of the planet, right?
mhm,
You know, there's the ocean and then it goes.
it's like a straw.
Right?
Yeah, a little straw.
Yeah. Okay, it starts doing that with our sun, right? It's like create solar flare, dude. Our planet would
We'd be
gone.
dead. We'd be gone. This isn't Doctor
So-
Who, all right? It doesn't work in this universe.
Bro, this solar flare is massive because like it gets really close, like to like getting pulled out.
Yeah.
And let's just say our solar system would be a mess. So
Well, yeah,
yeah.
like electromagnetic waves alone from solar flares would knock out all electronics everywhere.
so that's what I think.
Morons.
That's what causes the downfall of Saber.
Right. So Saber's falling, and they're like, "Okay, we gotta evacuate. What do we do? The pods aren't working."
We're out of pods.
I'm Nick Fury. I got an idea. Everybody get eaten by a flurkin. And we're going to take all the flurkins down via the one pod ship available. And everybody
Oh
has
my
to be eaten by
gosh.
flurkins. So they do this whole montage where they're running through. It's like, like one of those moments, like the music, the classical music. Da, da, and people are like,
Like
ah,
a Guardians.
slow
There's like a
motion.
Guardians moment.
And they're like, do not panic. It's like super propaganda-ish, you know. Let yourselves be eaten by the flurkins, and everyone's freaking out. It was so stupid. And they're flying down with all these freaking kittens all over the place. Nick Fury with kittens. That's all he worried about the entire movie was the flurkin.
Kittens.
And the Miss Marvel's family, her brother's praying this weird Muslim prayer. He's like, and Nick Fury's like, "Are you praying right now?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "Well, don't stop. We need everything we can get." I'm like, "This is so freaking
Oh
dumb."
my gosh.
And they land, and then the flurkins are spitting them all up, and that was pretty much all of Nick Fury's plot. And he introduced everybody at the beginning, and that was it.
Should have just had him eat them all and then just the end.
Yeah.
And then all the flurkins go blah,
Blah.
and everybody's like getting puked out, and it's a good time. Now there's like hundreds of flurkins just loose on Earth.
Right, yeah, that's not going to be bad or anything.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. And we never found
I
out.
love to. I'm assuming they haven't discussed the celestial peeking out of
no.
our freaking planet
Nope.
either.
Oh,
So it's like,
didn't
what?
see it.
This
That's
is
out of
how
sight,
many
out of mind.
movies- How many movies in a row / TV shows and no one's discussed this
It's
yet?
been 2 years now.
Right? Like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah. And also, we never found out what happened to the musical planet. Who cares? Probably all died. Whatever.
Again, who
Captain
cares?
Marvel doesn't care. It's only her
Yeah,
husband.
Right. It's a political marriage.
Yeah, and so she gives Miss Marvel's family Monica or Maria Rambeau's old house, and that's the best thing she did in the entire movie.
Why do they need a new house?
Because her house got destroyed earlier in the movie.
Yeah. Miss Marvel's family's
Miss
house
Marvel
got destroyed.
Captain Marvel destroyed their house on it,
Um,
from Kree fights.
Hmm.
So that was the best thing she did for anybody in that entire movie. Was give somebody else's house.
Yep.
Honestly, it almost felt like, as we're like talking about it a little more, and as I'm like processing it, reliving it a little more, it almost feels like a pity party for Captain Marvel, like a feel bad for me because I'm just so powerful and I have all these issues that nobody can relate to,
Yeah.
kind of thing, you know? Like nobody can connect with me emotionally. Like the estrogen was really flowing in this movie. I'm not saying that as a misogynist. I'm saying that as a fact. Like
As a
there are multiple
misogynist.
like I'm telling you right now, there's like multiple points in this movie where they're like, I really appreciate you saying that to me.
Yeah.
Like that means a lot to me. like straight up like I don't know, like therapy conflict resolution, like straight up in the script.
Well,
There
and
was
that's one of the things that upsets me the most about the trajectory too is
women.
that
I know it's awful.
yeah. No, it's because we're not here to watch a Hallmark movie or something. We're here to watch a superhero movie, and we want to see battles. We want to see good battles, and
we want to see the hero's journey.
Not the hero's journey.
That's ultimately what. Yeah, not the what.
The hero's journey, as Neurotic says.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what comic book fans and sci-fi fans crave, is the hero's journey.
Even women like masculine men.
Yep.
And that's Neurotic said this too. I can't take credit for this, but like this proves that Marvel hates women, because every woman that we've seen has been portrayed as a awful, bitch. Every single one, and they're insufferable. Everyone's a Mary Sue. It's Disney. It's Disney. It's Lucasfilm and Marvel, but everybody's a Mary Sue.
Well, no longer. I mean, Disney owns Lucasfilm at this point. So
yes, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything Disney owns is
right. It's not
every
George
woman
Lucas.
is a Mary Sue, and they're just everybody hates men, and it's just awful.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but it just felt like a pity party for Captain Marvel because I think Brie Larson's getting a lot of hate, so they felt like they need to write that into this, like make her feel.
Was she done now too? Like apparently, I was hearing
so.
some rumors about her might being done because she's not sure she wants to play the character anymore or something. I don't know.
I hope.
That'd be amazing.
But anyways, I felt like they were writing it in that, like because they didn't have a second movie, because I'm pretty sure we as a fan base got it canned.
Yeah. The estrogen was flowing.
Right in.
There was a moment. There was a moment where they were all like in their pajamas talking in a ship.
Oh my gosh!
Like, this is so dumb. Sorry, continue.
Yep. Well, and then their montage, it was like bouncing books on their head and then swapping places. Like that was their and then
training montage.
Yeah, and then like they were like practicing their switch to see if they could get it like on time, and then they were doing like the trios jump rope,
girl power,
and
black girl magic.
Did we even tell them what context was?
Oh, that was where she's like, oh, this is a big part actually of it. Basically, oh gosh, I missed a huge part actually. So all three of them couldn't do something at the very beginning of the movie, and then they could, because you can do anything. And so Monica Rambeau couldn't fly at the beginning of this movie, but Nick Fury said, "You can do it, Black Girl Magic," and then suddenly she could do it. She could fly.
Bro, I kid you not, immediately, bro.
And it was immediate. Yeah, it was the moment where Captain Marvel flies up, switches with Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel is flying to the Earth, and so somebody has to catch her, and so it's Black Girl Magic.
So the lady who can see light, she gets Black Girl Magic, and then she can fly. But then she gets up there and she realizes when she's flying, she like is moving through her, like she can't pick, like
she's Marvel, like it's like Danny Phantom,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like they're all in a panic because nobody can save Miss Marvel from going
It's going
splat.
splat.
And then Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel switch again right at the end. Miss Captain Marvel goes right in the ground. And she goes, "Oh, it's Carol."
Oh, it's just Carol.
Like that. She goes, "Oh, it's Carol."
And then they
Wow.
immediately switch to the other people. It's like that was it. Yeah.
Why would
it's
Miss
Carol.
Marvel not make a giant slide to slide down?
She attempted to do like a flat surface,
Yeah.
but she went. She like slid off of it.
Well,
But
yeah,
it's
no,
like
that's
you
what I'm
probably
saying.
would. That
Like,
probably would have hurt too.
Extend a massive slide.
She
and
does
then
that
you
later in the movie.
Gradually, yeah, and you
'Cause she
gradually
learned she could
increase
do
the
it.
Angle,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. See, I literally spent 5 seconds thinking about it, and I came up with the solution.
So you know what Captain Marvel's learning was? She learned that she could reignite the Kree sun.
Yeah.
Oh my
She
gosh.
actually could have just made everything better.
She could have
herself.
fixed
Right.
this 30 years ago, and she
And-
flies
oh my
into
gosh.
their sun, and within 5 seconds,
Yeah. Well, she
That's being
ignites it
generous.
too.
it becomes their
Actually-
sun again. It becomes a normal sun,
Oh my god.
and nobody gets radiation, of
kinda-
course. But
And it
Kind of
just like
rooting for the
reinforces
soccer mom here.
yeah,
it just reinforces the point that this movie was pointless.
well, yeah. I mean,
Because-
like she was definitely pointless. Well,
Darvin-
yes, you're right.
Darvin, when she got smashed by that rock and stabbed or whatever, like their deal, that's when they figured out that Captain Marvel could reignite the sun.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, Carol, why don't you just light up the sun on Hala?" And she's like, "Girl, you right.
Hala.
Girl,
Why
you
don't I just go
right.
ignite the sun?" And
It's
so
such a
then
classic.
Darvin's
I
like,
just-
"Yeah,
Just needed that
you light my
affirmation.
son.
Yes,
But
she
get me
needed
outta
the
here.
affirmation.
Yeah." And so they're like, "All right, bet, let's get Darvin out of here." They pick up the rock, boom, smack. Darvin's got that magic hammer back, and she hits Captain Marvel, but then Captain Marvel uses her power to defend, while Miss Marvel uses her power to attack Darvin to also defend Captain Marvel, and they swap. And so Miss Marvel, which is the most vulnerable one, gets her head clapped into the ground and doesn't die. So
Oh my gosh.
it was pretty cool.
Literally, I forgot about that.
I'm so
And then
glad
that's how
I
she
don't
gets
plan
that
on watching
second
this
gauntlet.
movie.
That's how she
Yeah.
gets the second bangle.
Right,
And
she
then
takes it from her. Yeah.
disintegrates. She goes, ah.
Yeah, you can tell these people were stupid who wrote this because they thought nobody's gonna think about this. Like this is genius. Like,
Nobody's ever seen Spaceballs.
well, but like the idea is that like they just thought of it. Oh, this is a genius moment. This is a moment of clarity that I could have done this. I could do this. Not that I
Subverting
could have.
expectations like
right.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, I could have done this a long time ago. Nope, we don't think like that here.
Yeah.
So
The heroes actually are supposed to beat the villain, not the villain beat itself.
right.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was actually relieved that Darvin fought after, like, double crossed Captain Marvel. Like, I was actually relieved that it wasn't a, this was just a misunderstanding.
Kumbaya
and just
moment,
reignite
yeah.
your son, Like,
Mhm.
I was happy for that, but then she just dies anyway. So I'm like, okay, that really wasn't much better. I feel like after the conflict, like backstabbing, they don't know how to write anything good after that. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
and it's
so
not.
now what do we do
I
with
guess
her?
it's not necessarily bad for the villain to kill themselves. That happens all the time in movies.
Sure.
Like for instance, Dark Knight, Two-Face dies on accident. Batman doesn't kill him, but he still dies because of his own actions.
Yeah, but still be consistent because, like, Guardians. Pretty sure Ronan kills himself with stone. No.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
But Guardians, they try to do it, but they can only do it together because there's more of them, so they can harness the power.
Right.
And also, Chris Pratt is a Celestial or whatever.
And he's a Celestial, right? So there's more reason
He
that it
was.
works. Miss Marvel, however, just witness Kree, who I'm pretty sure is a more sturdy specimen than a teenage
Mhm.
human. get absolutely demolished by these Bengals, and then she goes,
Well,
"Yeah, I was
she's
destined for this.
she's a mutant, so
I don't
according
care."
to this movie, this universe, I should say.
Also, have we heard any follow up on the Shang-Chi and the rings and where they supposedly originated from with that
No.
after credit scene?
Nope.
Okay. Because now, I'm just thinking, right? So we've got the 10 rings, we've got Miss Marvel's bangles. I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah.
They're gonna join a band on the Music World.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals and the rings are linked.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at.
Probably.
That's
And it's
actually
going to
what
be
my wife.
Cleopatra.
That's what my wife said. She was like, "Are the Bengals and Shang-Chi rings linked?" I was like, "I don't know, but maybe."
That'll
And she
bring
doesn't
Moon
even
Knight
see
in then.
the Marvels, but she was like, "Maybe."
Yeah.
Sounds like the real story is that the girls defeated their inner demons.
Yes.
Their inner enemies.
Exactly. Very succinct, Nick.
Right. So yeah, I love all the great men in the MCU have been, turned into these pathetic, wet napkins, and the women who are already great, very powerful, are even more powerful now, and better in a better position than they were at the beginning. Yeah, it's very inconsistent. So.
All right. On that
Yeah.
note, I gotta leave. I gotta go to bed.
All right.
I'm crashing, and I gotta get up early tomorrow. So,
Sounds good.
but yeah, it was
See
fun
ya.
to talk to you guys and
Yep.
have fun discussing Loki. And I will wrap it up, and then we'll touch base on it for 5 minutes next week.
Alrighty.
All right. See you
All right,
guys.
see ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
So yeah,
So, all right. Loki. First of all, I saw this meme or this, whatever, a tweet, I think it was. They're like, nobody noticed that he made the world tree at the end. I'm like, dude, that was like
that was the whole point.
the most obvious thing ever. I mean, obviously, if you never read comics, you probably don't know it's called the world tree, but you have probably a good idea that it's a tree. It's a giant tree.
Yeah, it looked like a tree. I didn't
Right.
know what the world tree was specifically, but it looked like a tree. And the whole
Yes.
thing about branches.
Right. It's not the world tree, but he made it to look like the world tree, So, yeah, that was, I was like, all right, you're an idiot. But yeah, so, wow. Loki found his true self.
His
and
glorious purpose.
His glorious purpose. They were so lazy. They had the same exact title as the pilot of this entire show. I love that everybody's saying, Loki. Loki had, the best arc. It's like Loki already had his arc. You have to purposefully forget everything about his entire story in the MCU to say that this is his arc. You have to block it out of your mind.
And this all happened in a matter of, I don't know.
Literally no time at all.
Yeah, or no
Technically.
time, really, yeah.
I also love that he had like it was like a Groundhog's Day situation. He had infinite amount of time to figure out how to defeat what's her face, mullet Loki, Sylvie, and he couldn't do it. He still couldn't do it. Now maybe he was, holding back, but like, why would he go infinite amount of times just to keep losing? That made no sense to me. I wonder if he knew that he could do that too at the very end, because it's like, that was kind of an inconsistency too. It's this entire show he wasn't using his powers. We weren't sure if he could use his powers or not in the TVA, and then suddenly he could use his powers and do that of all things too. Who knew he could do that? That's the same thing with Marvel's. What?
I mean, that was my biggest issue was that. What was that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he just started grabbing
He knew what he was
branches.
doing. Like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're just supposed to trust that, like, wow, like this is amazing, whatever he's
well,
doing, like, what is it?
and those damn slippers. I could not with those slippers. Those loafers. Oh my goodness.
Hey, the helmet was cool.
Yeah, somebody was saying, "Oh, it's supposed to represent him being like, not like a shiny god anymore. He's a lowly servant. He's got a beaten up black, simple crown. He's got really simple clothes, except for the loafers. So like that's kind of what they were trying to do, but it looked gay. It looked really gay.
It's just, I don't know. It was like another one of those, like, oh, trust the science, trust what we're doing. Like, you're just supposed to be
Yeah.
amazed at this random scene that's all dramatic, and we're supposed to be like, wow, this is so cool what he's doing. It's like we had no explanation about what this is
I know.
that he's doing. How did
Yeah,
he
it
know?
was very confusing.
we
Yeah,
know?
like how did he get to that conclusion? Based on his conversations with Kang, it didn't connect.
And even if he did, we don't know.
Yeah, right. There was it was a really stupid fan theory going around that he's gonna be the time stone now, because he's green, and he
The
controls
new time stone or the one that
the real time stone, like because
right,
he's
but the time
all
stone
because
is
it's all time.
destroyed.
Because it's all time. It
Always.
doesn't make sense.
All
It's
time.
stupid. It's
Always.
stupid.
Doesn't
It's
make
all
sense.
because of color. That's the only reason. It's like, what's next? Is Thanos gonna be the Power Stone? Is
He's purple.
because he's purple? Like it's
Oh,
so dumb.
Debbie's the Power Stone now.
Yeah.
Or
Wanda's gonna be
Deb,
the
whatever.
Reality Stone because she's red, and she controls reality. Yeah.
Don't give them any ideas.
Right. They're not listening to our
It's
stream.
dead anyways.
Dang, that's a really stupid idea that we can incorporate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I never thought of that. Nobody's ever thought of this.
I will say, going back to Captain Marvel for a second. Now we're talking about shows. It's not the worst thing. She-Hulk is still the worst thing, and all the properties of the MCU, She-Hulk still tops.
Oh yeah,
So.
100%.
And Loki, honestly, it's down there now.
I was actually I liked the first season. But the second
First season it had looking back, it had a lot more flaws than I gave didn't give it credit for, I guess, or whatever.
Sure.
But I will say my favorite part of Loki is the soundtrack. I love the music from Loki. Actually, it's pretty good. It's very epic music. It just doesn't fit with what we see. So, yeah, everybody's saying, everybody's praising Tom Hiddleston's performance as, the emotional Loki. We love when a
Nobody
villain
wants
when a villain gets turned into a hero, and it's like, we didn't ask for this. He
And we already
already
got that.
became a hero. Yeah. He already and it was appropriate for him. It wasn't this where he became an actual true hero. It was he made a sacrifice for his brother because he loved his brother. He was just trying to save his brother. That's all he was doing. And he died a noble death. So I don't buy this. I don't buy that Loki would do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, how did he figure out the time slipping? That wasn't explained.
He became more emotional.
Yeah, he's found his inner emotions. Yeah, his inner ore.
He loved himself.
He loved himself. That's what matters. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was kind of disappointing, and I've only read, like, everybody's like, this is amazing. This is the best thing that's ever happened to Loki, and the Marvels is what a comic book movie should be. I'm like,
Oh, I saw
What?
that too. Yeah, I'm
what
like,
Yeah, that
universe
was
are
yeah.
you
Oh,
in?
Nick. Yeah, Nick
actually.
sent that. What a comic book movie show. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is so loosely based on any comic book, and the comics that they're based on are modern day comic books that shouldn't actually be comic books. You know? Yeah, absurd. They turned Captain Marvel used to be a really cool character. She was Miss Marvel, the actual Miss Marvel in the comics, and she was amazing. And then they turned her into Captain Marvel. What a shame.
What a shame.
Yeah, so no redemption for Loki. I didn't like anything from the finale, honestly. I did
The
laugh
only
a little
thing I
bit,
liked,
but
I just liked watching what's his name turn into like worms and
yes,
whatnot.
I was like, yay, King's dying and more. Yeah, it just kind of furthers our point. Why is he the big
Yeah,
bad?
what was his point in the end? Like he was just kind of like a random side character.
Yeah. Well, it was more, I guess, the he who remains. As is he gone then?
Well,
Is
I
Loki
don't
did
really know.
Loki take his place, or he just
Well,
took the Loom's place?
I thought
He
after
took the Loom's
Quantumania.
place.
No, not Kang. The he who remains. He's
Oh,
different. Well, oh yeah, and what does that mean? Does that mean that none of the events? I think this is what Tyler and I were talking about. Everything up from between Loki season 1 and now does not matter anymore
No, it
because it's
all
all being
looped.
rewritten. Because it
Hopefully,
all stemmed from he who remains dying, and now he's alive again. Maybe. So
or never existed because
well,
Loki's the tree.
I don't know. I don't know.
that'd be a,
See,
that'd be a
this is the
nice
issue.
way of
This
getting
goes
rid of.
back to the issue.
We
This is how
should
we got in
know
this
what's
predicament.
happening.
This is how we got in this predicament anywhere. Anyways, we started with this whole multiverse crap where anything goes. And now we don't know what anything can be. So they're going to take it in whatever way they possibly can and they're going to be like, "Yeah, this is how it's supposed to go." Like we talk about them not having a plan. This is what it looks like. It's saying, "Hey, let's end this in the most dumb way to where we give ourselves the most outs possible so that when it comes to writing, we can say, "Oh yeah, no, this makes sense because we ended Loki like this." Like, but you have like 30 different. They're basically creating their own loom
Yeah.
of like 30 different storylines that work because of how they ended Loki.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with the multiverse. It's like, oh well, we actually can bring in all of the Spider-Men because multiverse. Like that was cool, right? They did something cool there.
Right.
But now it's like, oh,
But
the
that
multiverse.
should have been the beginning of that should have been the entry point into the
Yes.
multiverse, and they should have stuck with
Agreed.
that idea. Multiverse of Madness just made it completely confusing
Yep.
and didn't yeah, I mean that was supposed to be the movie where we like really explored the multiverse.
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah, and understood what was happening, what were the consequences of No Way Home, considering that Doctor Strange was kind of the reason for that. And that didn't answer any questions, and it's never been answered since. And every single multiverse entry is different.
Yep.
They don't coincide at all.
Nope.
So
I miss the old days where we'd get the arc reactor technology and
Yeah.
not really understand how it works, but just know that it's BA and it's like, okay, cool, like arc reactor technology, nice. Like,
yeah, that I mean, let's be honest. We give Endgame a lot of praise, but the whole nanotechnology stuff was kind of dumb. It was such a
we haven't
cop
really
out.
seen
It was
that.
such a cop
Yeah.
out. Like Ant-Man or Iron Man's costumes used to be really cool the way like they would come together, and like even up to through Civil War and everything, like it got better. Like it got to the point where he didn't have to put on this clunky suit, but it was still like it looked like mechanics coming together. The nanotechnology is like It looks really bad, actually. I mean, that was going through Infinity War, actually. That started in Infinity War. Yeah.
Right.
Now
Right, with his
everything is
weird
nanotech.
shred thing.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, that was the whole thing with the freaking helmets going on and off. And yeah, they stopped caring about the details, the autistic details that matter in convincing people that this works.
Wait,
And
the autistic details or the artistic details?
autistic details where it's like you care about every single thing, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they care more about showing the actor's face than actually making it look realistic, you know. So yeah, nothing's consistent anymore.
Nope.
So yeah, Deadpool should kill the whole Marvel universe and be done, and let's start over. Let's recast everybody, you know, and start over,
Yeah.
or just be
I
done.
almost say careful what you ask for with the recasting. Who knows?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore, you know. Robert Downey Jr. is too old.
I mean, we're not missing anything because what they've already casted. It's like what could get what are you gonna
Or
do?
could
Give
be
us the
worse.
same? You can't get worse.
Yeah,
True.
perhaps Spider-Man, I guess, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
so,
could make an argument for him being in a different timeline now with No Way Home.
retcons are you know, rebooting is actually not a bad thing. It happens all the time in comics. Sometimes it's really bad in comics, but sometimes they get things right, you know. So
That's how we got so many of the good different stories is because there's multiple storylines to comics.
right, there are so many, and you know, even in comics, they like reference old stuff, kind of like, oh, that was a past life, you know. This is a new crisis event. This is like everything has been reincarnated, but all that did happen. It's just a different life, you know. So, and you come up with a reason for that, and make it make sense, obviously. But, yeah, I mean, DC was a lot better at that than Marvel was. But that way, like, you can't keep going and going and going forever. Obviously, these characters would age out. It doesn't make sense that Batman and Superman have been around since the 1930s, you know. But if you reboot things, call it a crisis event, it does make sense then, you know. So they should just do that in real life, with the movies.
Yep.
I
So,
agree.
yeah, Loki was poop.
I'm just kind of scared at how many of the shills there are and normies like saying that this is all good.
I don't think so. Normies, I think, are over it. I think they're done. I mean,
I don't know, man. I'm just like all the stuff I'm reading is just not really encouraging.
I wouldn't say
to-
that represents everybody, though. Just because it's what we're reading, you know, it doesn't mean it's
Not
necessary.
like I'm reading comments though. I'm not reading articles.
Oh, I see.
Have you ever dived into comments on
Oh, yeah.
Facebook? And
Mostly
there's a lot
YouTube.
of
I
positivity
dive
in
into
there.
YouTube comments, but yeah,
Yeah, maybe it's all the Facebook moms that I'm getting into then.
maybe. No, there's obviously a good majority, a good group of people that are all for it, but I think they're just the shills.
So yeah. Anyways, that's Marvel now.
Yep. Marvel's dead. Way, way dead. And it's The Walking Dead now. They're just walking around, walking corpses. So I don't know what's next. Honestly, I think, I have no idea what's next. Should probably figure that out, but I don't.
Look at the roadmap.
Yeah, I don't know if I think, you know, like Deadpool 3 is supposed to come out next year. I think that was delayed.
I am kind of excited for that one.
Yeah.
I just know they're probably gonna ruin it.
Black Captain America, which was
Nice.
called New World Order. Now they changed it. They changed it to Brave New World, which is so funny because New World Order sounds so Nazi. So that's supposed to come out, I think, next year. Oh gosh, I can't imagine what that's gonna be like. I think Thunderbolts. Oh, Echo, I guess, is coming out.
Oh yeah, we watched the preview for that one.
Yeah, maybe Blade. I probably not actually. No, I could think Blade's still under the writing
Well,
block.
no, remember the primary actor is like questioning if they're actually gonna do it or not.
Well, whether he's gonna do it or not, because he was the fourth main character in his own show.
Yeah, so maybe they're just gonna cancel it. Who knows?
I don't know. Daredevil's canceled though, or pushed back. So
Yeah, because She-Hulk.
yeah.
After
So-
She-Hulk butchered him.
Yeah, I think those two movies at least coming out next year, possibly. So we'll
Wasn't
see.
it Daredevil season 4 or 5?
No, it'll
Because
be a
he didn't
new
go.
show altogether.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a movie; it's a show.
It's a show, yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll dive into that eventually, but there you have it. We'll start talking about fun stuff now for the rest of the year.
hopefully,
Hopefully. We'll start reviewing Invincible when Nick's caught up. And Tyler, I guess.
and me. Yeah,
You gotta watch it, but there's only a couple episodes out.
yeah. It'll be
Yeah,
3
try
by
to
the
get-
time we have next cast.
We can start talking about Hot D again, though. That's exciting. Trailer's coming out soon, and we'll start talking about speculations and theories. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be great. And I think Zach's seen that too. So that's like the one thing we've all watched, which is great. And Rings of Power.
No.
That's coming out next year. So, yep. Alrighty.
Yeah.
With that, we're gonna wrap it up here. Go check out our socials again. Check out our Discord server in the description. And subscribe, give us a like, and share with your friends. And make sure you click the bell too, so you know when we're streaming. Because obviously we're doing a little bit differently here this next couple weeks. So, but yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
See ya.